All right, guys, thank you again. We're just doing another little movie collection video now. Again, these are just fun, turn your brain off kind of thing. Just relax. It's good to do Gebser intellectual stuff, but it's also good to do just fun stuff like this, and I've always wanted to do this. So thank you again for watching. We are continuing. We left off. We did like the first two C's. I think it was campaign and Capote. The campaign and Capote. So we're just continuing. Number one, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I can't remember why, but the first time I watched only half of it, and I didn't finish it. But I remember it wasn't because I didn't like it. Something came up. And then it took me like another like year and a half, 2 years to finish it. I don't know why. But once I did, I ended up enjoying it. This is a fun movie. It's certainly unique when it comes to the fighting style and the way it's directed. This is Ang Lee, right? Yeah. Good movie, solid movie. Not sure how much I'll rewatch it a ton, but you know, definitely a solid movie. I would like for something like this to come out nowadays, or give me like an Old Boy or something. We're not gonna get that. All right, what's next? Creed. This movie is awesome. I remember seeing it in theaters. Michael B. Jordan's awesome. This might be Sylvester Stallone's best role. Now, if you want to say it's certainly not his most iconic. Well, I was going to say it's not his most iconic. He's playing Rocky Balboa, so it kind of is. But you know what I mean. But in terms of like actual acting, I think this is one of his best. Now that's not saying much because I'm not a fan of his 80s, 70s action stuff, but he's not exactly winning Oscars for that. I think he actually should have won it if it means anything. The Oscars mean nothing to me. Um, but he had one of the better performances of that year and probably his entire career. And this movie's awesome. I remember seeing this, and I don't want to spoil Fruitvale Station with Ryan Coogler, which I also have. And I remember thinking, like, this guy's awesome. This guy's going to be the next great director. Because I remember the one, what do you call it? The oh, the tracking shot, I guess, of the boxing scenes, or the one takes, I guess, the no cuts. I'm blanking on the film terminology. It's excellent. Excellent. The way these fights are filmed and helmed are great. This is a great boxing movie. I didn't love the obligatory love story, but I never do. Speaking of love stories, Crazy Stupid Love. This is a good movie. I remember I almost watched this involuntarily because my mom used to watch this all the time. It was taped on the DVR or whatever. So we used to watch it, and this is a great movie. I like seeing Steve Carell in something different, seeing him do something sort of different. Julianne Moore, I love Julianne Moore. Ryan Gosling, he does. What did Emma Stone say about him? He looks photoshopped. I agree. He's very handsome in this. Emma Stone's great. This is a fun kind of rom com, and I remember it kind of sparked like a mini crush on oh god, what was her name? Annalee Tipton, I believe it was the model. And I like how this kind of goes in places you wouldn't expect. It's not like a cheesy rom com. It's funnier than that. All right, one of the few horror movies I got, The Conjuring. Now the great thing about this movie is it's seemingly the one critique of it, maybe the main critique of it, I should say, is that it was pretty unoriginal and it kind of hit all the beats and the tropes and it did it well. It was executed well, but nonetheless, people kind of saw things coming. Now, me, if you watch my first video, you'll be reminded that I had a lifelong fear of horror films, so that was not a problem for me. Now, this didn't like scare me or anything like that. It's not like I couldn't sleep or anything. But this was a solid movie. The cliches and tropes that have been done 1,000 times, I've only seen them once, twice. So yeah, this was I think a lot better for me than it was for others. But people really like this. I think let this guy go on to do like Fast and Furious or something. Kind of a waste. All right, this is an exception. Now, I like the idea of this movie. I don't love this movie. There was one joke about Queens that made me laugh, and I like Eddie Murphy in it, but something about it. I should give it a rewatch. The reason I even have this at all is because my mother loves this movie, and she insists that because I don't like this, that I guess I have bad taste, which is probably true. So one day I'm gonna rewatch it, but it didn't quite hit with me. It wasn't terrible, though, not by any means. Not like the sequel, which my mom watched, and even she said was awful. Next up, Collateral. This movie's awesome. This movie is awesome. Kind of the closest thing you'll see Tom Cruise uh, play a villain. This is the closest to a villain you'll ever see him. I like the Just for Men gray hair dye. Some of the dialogue's a little corny, but also kind of badass at the same time. Jamie Foxx is cool because he's playing like a nerdy guy. He's not doing the tough guy action stuff. That's Tom Cruise. But Jamie Foxx, he's not really doing that. And Jada Pinkett Smith is in this, and I remember watching this the first time and thinking, like, she was fine enough, but this is a really thankless role for her because she just I remember checking the clock and being like, well, there's like 20 minutes left, and I guess she's just gone. I don't know why she was even in. I guess she was just in town that day. But she comes back. And yeah, this is an awesome movie. Everyone loves this movie. Who was in this the soundtrack? Oh, that's what it was. Audio Slave? Is that what it is? Shadow of the Sun, I believe it was. Every time I listen to that song, I think of Tom Cruise just looking at LA. There's like a coyote or a wolf or some shit walking by on the streets. Like, what the hell is that? Next up, Clerks. I watched this movie every night to fall asleep in college. When I first went for, I think, like 2 months straight, I used to be able to quote half this entire thing. This movie's awesome. This is kind of like one of those cliche power filmmaking things, very low budget, clearly done, made out of passion. I think this is easily my favorite Kevin Smith movie. I'm not the biggest fan of his, even though Dogma I didn't love, but it was actually better than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting trash, and it was just kind of average. A little, didn't really say anything profound, but I didn't expect that. But Clerks, this movie is awesome. Randall is hilarious. There's just so many great gags in this. This is a classic. If you love to laugh, if you love comedy, if you like these sort of indie cool movies, you got to watch this. There's so much great stuff. I mean, Randall alone is worth the price of admission. And there's so much good stuff. I love this movie. The dialogue's awesome. Please watch Clerks. Let me make sure these don't fall. 1 second. Okay. All right. Next up, City of God. I'm glad I rewatched this about a month and a half, 2 months ago. This movie is awesome. I think it was Lil Zay, and then there's Benny, the coolest hood in Rio de Janeiro, I believe it was. And this is a story about the slums of, I think it is Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. What that's like, how easy it is to get caught up in that extreme violence, and what the nature of that extreme violence is like. And it's also kind of a character study on psychopathy, because, oh God, what is his name? Yeah, Lil Zed, right? Or Lil Zay. That dude is, that dude, that dude will kill you. Not just for, I was going to say for looking at him, not even looking at him. I'll just do it just because he realized his movie that he was going to see later tonight was canceled. He's wild. And he was wild like that since he was 6. If you want to see a little 6-year-old going psycho and killing people, watch this movie. That's not really a spoiler. That's in the opening act. But this movie's awesome. Foreign movie. I think this is our first foreign movie. Listen, here's the great thing about foreign films. They force you to pay attention because if you can hear it, of course, you can kind of just scroll on your phone and, yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, yeah. Okay. You can't do that, obviously, in a foreign film if you don't understand the language. So you must pay attention. This is why foreign films, as long as you know as long as they're good, usually hit harder because you're paying super close attention instead of just a English movie and you're just like every 20 minutes you're kind of just checking your phone. Yeah, I guess you got his head blown off. That's nice. And there you go. So if you want to start a foreign film, this is not a bad one. This movie's awesome. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. This movie's awesome. This movie's awesome. Say what you will about Roman Polanski. He's a bad person, okay? I have no problem separating art from artists. If you do, more power to you. If you don't want to do that, that's cool. Just don't impose that on me. This movie is awesome. Faye Dunaway, that's kind of like I said in the last video. When she's on, and this is one of them. This is just an amazing script. One of my favorite scripts of all time. Everything feels perfectly in place. Everything makes sense. Jack Nicholson is great. I like the corruption here. I like the intrigue. I like the ending. The ending is iconic and awesome. It's a little cynical. It's a little pessimistic. It's a little Cormac McCarthy, but nonetheless, it is good. Everything about it's great. Everything just falls into place when you expect it. Tension builds when it needs, and only to the point where you think, okay, good. It builds intrigue, it builds tension, but it doesn't go overboard. And everyone who watches this movie loves this movie. And then when they tell you they don't, they're just either snobby hipsters or they're trying to prove moral superiority because they can't separate art from artists. Now this one I love, Children of Men. My mother gave this a 0 out of 10. She has good taste in movies, but she was off the mark on this one. This is like, I was gonna say this is the only good Clive Owen movie, but I guess Sin City was in that. This is a movie about, yeah, the year 2027, the last days of the human race. No child has been born for 18 years. He must protect our only hope. So no child has been born for 18 years, and then we get a pregnancy. And that's the story. That's not really a spoiler. But of course, things have devolved into a dystopia, so they have to navigate that. Great study on human nature. All the acting's great. All the shots are amazing. I believe it was Cuarón. Yes, Alfonso Cuarón. Amazing job. Amazing job. Excellent. Everyone loves Children of Men. This is a great movie. Chef. We're not reinventing the wheel with this movie. The script has pretty been there, done that. But the execution is so good. And the food in the movie looks so damn good. Every time I eat it, I don't care if I just ate a 4-course meal. I'm still get hungry. The grilled cheese in this movie looks good. We'll put it that way. And so does Sofia Vergara. But this is a fun movie. This is Jon Favreau plays kind of a not a Michelin chef, but that kind of chef, and a chef of a higher end restaurant. And he has a falling out with the critic, his old owner, which is a great tension, by the way, played by Dustin Hoffman. And then he starts his own food truck, and then he sort of course, re falls back in love with cooking, and then of course teaches his son, and then he has an ex-wife, and Sofia Vergara. Again, we're not reinventing the wheel here, but the execution is great. This is a great family movie too, if you want to just throw it on with the mom and dad. Great movie. This movie's solid, a little overrated. Catch me if you can. It's a good movie. As much as I love Elizabeth Banks for the most part, her acting is a little much in this. Tom Hanks, I've never been the biggest fan of. I've always thought he's overrated, but this is good. This is Spielberg. This is classic. I can't remember what the name was of Frank Alabama. Oh, Frank Alabama. That's his name, guys. Frank Alabama. Frank W. Abagnale Jr. That's who Leonardo DiCaprio plays. Having said that, I do have a bias towards this movie because I love movie about con men. I always have. Don't know why. Now, usually con men when it comes to poker and gambling and that kind of stuff, but that's what this is. So I enjoyed this movie. It's pretty good. Some people go over the top and they say it's like the best movie of the 2000s. Okay, relax. Casino Royale. This movie is awesome. This movie, for what it is borderline perfect. I think every act ends on an awesome action scene, and each one is better than the last. It's kind of like Mad Max Fury Road in that regard. But even beyond that, I think the character arc of James Bond is very interesting. It's very compelling. I think the locations that they shot on, or at least they made it look like it, are great. I love the poker aspect of it. I love Mads Mikkelsen. I love all of it. Everything is great about this movie. I remember seeing Skyfall. That was pretty good, but I forgot everything about it. Quantum of Solace was terrible. That's all I've seen for James Bond. So unfortunately, I'm a little ignorant of Agent 007. But Casino Royale is awesome. And Daniel Craig, at least in that movie, is great. Then we have Casino. I'm not sure why that Casino Royale is before that, but Casino. Hold on. I think I messed up. Oh well. This movie's pretty good. Um, Usually, if I want to scratch this itch, I'm going to watch Goodfellas. But generally, this is good. Again, another gambling movie, kind of. Joe Pesci's great, De Niro's great. Sharon Stone is annoying as hell, but she's pretty good. Probably her best, but that's not saying much. And yeah, I mean, it's a Scorsese gambling mob movie with Vegas Casino. You kind of know where you're going, but it delivers. Under Captain now. Captain Phillips. I need to give this a rewatch. What is this guy? Paul Green. Paul Greengrass. I know I wildly mispronounced this guy's name in the part one of this. This movie's pretty good. I do think Tom Hanks was good in this, despite me thinking he's overrated. I think he was really good. I liked when he was in shock. I liked that he didn't go super over the top. I liked that he kind of played it realistic, where it's not like this dramatic. Now I know how Joan of Arc felt, Morrissey kind of thing. Like, okay. And then of course this guy who was also in the movie Good Time, he was awesome. I would like to see this guy get cast in a little more things, but not entirely sure why. This movie is good. Definitely cool that it was based on a true story. I like movies that are set out in the sea. I don't think you see them that much, and if you do, it's like Avatar. It's just everything's CGI effects and all that crap. But the scenes where the pirates actually take hold of the ship, I thought were pretty tense, pretty compelling. Make sure this doesn't fall again. All right, District 9. This is a good movie. I haven't felt the greatest desire to rewatch it a ton. Who is it? Charlton Copley, right? Is that his name? He was really good in it. I like the effects for the most part. It's very clearly an allegory for apartheid in South Africa. Now, I don't really know much about that subject, so I can't really give any commentary. But as far as movies go, in this kind of movie, this sort of subgenre, I'm not the biggest sci-fi, but this is pretty good. I remember thinking that aliens, if that's what they were, or robot aliens, they were pretty cool. Charlotte Copley, I was really impressed, especially towards the end. Um, I thought he was cool. And then there was a lot of, was it all handheld or all found footage style? I can't remember. But when it was used, I thought for a found footage kind of thing, it was effective. It was one of the better ones. This one might be on the chopping block, The Disaster Artist. I don't know. I remember buying this when it came out. So it's been a while since I've seen it. Now, I think this is one of, what's his name? I was going to say Dave Franco or James Franco. They're both in it. James Franco's better performances, yes. I think it's probably one of his better movies, but what is that really saying in the grand scheme of things? I haven't seen 127 Hours, though, so you'll have to excuse me on that. But this was pretty good. I think The Room is. I think this was. I'm glad this was. We're done with The Room now. The Room had its moment, and it's funny. It is funny, but that's it. We're done. This movie, I remember thinking at the time that was a really good movie, but it just hasn't really left a mark on me since. So, you know. All right, Dirty Harry and Magnum Force. And these movies are awesome. Now, I remember his partner, and I think it was in Magnum Force, or it might have been Dirty Harry. His name was like Chico Gonzalez or something. I was like, what white dude is writing this? But these are fun movies. I mean, these are fun 70s movies. If you want like a classic Eastwood sort of badass hero, anti-hero, kind of cool, violent, tough guy who gets all the girls, this is what you're going to do. Or he fights for justice and the law, but he works around it, so he kind of operates in those weird places. But Clint Eastwood's awesome. I remember enjoying these. It's obviously like some Zodiac. I remember the first one. It's not the Zodiac, but it's the Zodiac. They're not like amazing, but they're good. Die Hard. Now, generally speaking, these kind of 80s and 90s really kind of cheesy action movies aren't my thing, but Die Hard is different. Die Hard, I think the script, it's not like amazing. It's not like incredible, but there is an arc and there is a character and there is a story being told besides just the action. And the action's amazing. And Alan Rickman's awesome. Everyone loves Alan Rickman. Yeah, I mean, what's there to say about Die Hard that hasn't been said? I mean, Die Hard's great. It's nice to see Bruce Willis in something I like. I feel like, in fairness, I think he said he had dementia or Alzheimer's or something, and he might have had some financial problems, so maybe that explains his movie selection, his role selection later in his career. The Descendants. This was a good movie. It's kind of an emotional movie, a very human film. It's about a family struggling from or reeling from a tragedy, and yeah, just trying to rediscover their love for one another, grow their relationship, and be the best people they can be. And it's good. George Clooney's good. I love the scene where he's, let's say, chewing out or cursing out his, I don't know, incapacitated wife. There's a lot of good scenes in this movie. I think what's her name, Shailene Woodley, is pretty good. I think her character was okay. But besides that, yeah, Alexander Payne, he's awesome. Everyone loves Alexander Payne. When I was 12 years old, this was the height of filmmaking. I had this on DVR, and you simply could not convince me that filmmaking got better than this. I said we might as well pack it up. I used to watch this movie so much. The Departed. Great cast, and everyone's good in it. This might be my favorite Mark Wahlberg performance. He is hilarious in it. Alec Baldwin's good in it. Jack Nicholson's hilarious. He's chewing the scenery. He's super over the top. DiCaprio's good. I like seeing him. I like when you have a bunch of big actors and none of them are necessarily the star. So in this movie, you kind of have two. You have Matt Damon and Leo. I guess Leo's technically the main character, but there's a bunch of stars. You got Jack Nicholson. Everyone gets their chance to shine, and no one's necessarily outweighing the other. I like those kind of movies, and that's what this is. Is it Goodfellas? No. Is it Taxi Driver? No. Is it Raging Bull? No. But I think it's one of Scorsese's most underrated, though maybe not technically his best. Even though I don't want to downplay this thing. This is a good movie, and you should watch this movie, especially if you're like a dude and you like dude movies. This is a great one. I mean, it's Scorsese with an all-star cast, gangster movie, cops, and of course, this was a remake of the foreign movie, which I haven't seen, Infernal Affairs. Super great plot too, just like a very simple, but it makes sense and a lot of tension there. Deliverance. My mother told me to watch this, and eventually I did, and I enjoyed it. I like John Boyd. I like Burt Reynolds. Everyone was good in it. So who was the fat guy? The one who gets, Um, this is a good movie. This is a good movie. Again, I don't know how often I want to rewatch this, but a good movie, a solid 70s. I will say, I can't. It depends on what day. It depends on if it's shiny outside. The sequence where they're just kayaking through the rapids and there's nothing really happening. Sometimes I watch that. I'm like, filmmaking is awesome. Not everything has to be story, plot. Just show me this awesome thing. Like, you recorded something awesome. Let me watch it. Then other days, I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Can I skip this? Okay, I see it. You're kayaking. It's badass. We covered this 3 minutes ago. Um, but overall, this is an awesome movie. Everyone loves Deliverance. I love the banjo player. Went to school with a couple of kids who look like that. They had a tight family. Deer Hunter. This movie is borderline overrated. Unfortunately, it's not that this movie's bad. I own this movie. I like this movie. It's too long. Meryl Streep's really good in this, and she's given nothing to do. Another obligatory love story. Um, she just does nothing. She's nothing. We could have cut 45 minutes, an hour, if she feels like she's tacked on. Robert De Niro's character is kind of like a piece of crap. I remember. I haven't seen it in a while, so it's kind of hard to remember him. And then I really like Christopher Walken. And then you see what happened to them in Vietnam. Now, all the scenes with Russian roulette are amazing. Those were awesome. If we could have a movie with 75% of that and 25% of like other story that wraps things up, we do that. Instead, we get like 40% of that or 50% of that, and then 50% of all this crap that you don't care about. So, good movie, very flawed. If it was cut by an hour, I'd probably rewatch it more often. This movie I saw in theaters. This is probably my favorite trilogy. Now, that's not to say it's the best trilogy, but I saw this in theaters and I saw War for the Planet of the Apes in theaters, which I do have. Not perfect, but this one, again, when is the last time we've got a summer movie that was this good? Like a mainstream blockbuster summer movie. As much as I like some of the hipster stuff, and we'll get there later on, that'll probably be the last video. Stuff like this is great. The CGI is great. The action is great. The story's good. I love this movie. This movie's awesome. 2014 was an awesome year. I mean, I was in the theater like every other week. I think I saw this twice in theaters. But yeah, I remember at the time, it was over 10 years ago. I just, like 17-year-old me, just fell in love with this stuff. So, awesome movie. Awesome trilogy. Now, I have not seen the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, okay? We ended it at 3. I'm not going to go see your slop. Absolutely not. Dark Waters. This was a good movie. I need to rewatch this. I was hoping this would kind of be like Foxcatcher or something like that, but kind of was, but it also kind of wasn't. Good movie. I remember it was a little slow. I don't remember much besides Mark Ruffalo was pretty good. And Hathaway was good, but wholly underused. And then you watch the end and you're like, okay, that was kind of the point. And Tim Robbins was good. All the acting was good. Everything was solid. I was just kind of hoping for a little more. This is like a solid movie. Dances with Wolves. This might be on the chopping block soon. It's not that it's bad necessarily, even though there are bad parts of it. I think I bought it because the shots themselves are so beautiful. Now, Kevin Costner did understand one thing, is that when you are in the Great Plains, show me it and sort of position it beautifully, make it look beautiful. Okay, I'm living in a small town on the East Coast. I don't know what the Great Plains look like. Show me. You have awesome technology. Do it, and that's what Kevin Costner does. Um, it's just the classic story. You've seen it. Kevin Costner has kind of some funny moments, like when he, I think there's like a wolf that or a dog that he becomes friends with, probably a wolf, and he's writing in his journal. He's like, I met a wolf today. He is my friend. I will call him Two Socks. It's like, and that's it. And you're like, is that really the best you could do, Kevin? Is that really the best you could do? All right, Dunkirk. Good movie I need to rewatch. I have not watched this since, God, probably 2020. I think I rewatched it in preparation for Tenet. Good movie. I think it had potential to be great. I like, the more I think about it, the more I like it. But when I watch it, I think there's something missing here. There's a detachment here that I think is unfortunate. I think for all the cool story structure and neat ideas that Nolan's playing with, because the battle or event of Dunkirk itself is the main character, and we are exploring that main character through unique and complex story structure. And because it's the event and not the people in the event that is the main character, there's a detachment there emotionally, and then that's the one thing that I kind of don't like about this movie, because it is beautiful and I like the way the action's filmed, and I like the tension, and I like the music, and I like everything else, and it's got Tom Hardy in it. I love Tom Hardy, and it's a good movie. It's just it has that emotional detachment. Speaking of emotional detachment, but very beautiful films, we got Dune 1 and Dune 2. Pretty much everything I said for Dunkirk applies to these two movies. Now, these are good, and I was really on the fence about buying. I don't think I bought Dune 1 for like 2 years. And then my girlfriend convinced me, because she's super into Dune. She read the books. And I was like, okay. So we rewatched Dune 1 in preparation for Dune 2. And I remember with subtitles, I like this more because I don't read the books. And when I watched it in theaters, it was hard for me because I have like a Forrest Gump level IQ. It was difficult for me to remember which family was which and all this stuff. So with subtitles and my girlfriend, um, I was able to follow it. And obviously that improved. So I remember liking it. Don't talk to me about Zendaya. Zendaya sucks. Um, this one was pretty good. I remember my girlfriend really complaining about what they did with Chani's character. So that didn't really affect me, but she did not like it. And others have also said that. These are good movies. I could use a little more of the main villain. Austin Butler was pretty good, I think. Um, Again, there's just an emotional detachment there sometimes. This is a great movie. From Dusk Till Dawn. This movie lives or dies by your acceptance of the second half shift in tone. I didn't mind it. I understood what was happening. I thought it was fun. This is a great movie. This is about two criminal brothers who are morally compromised, and they go to Mexico to do bad things, and then they go to a bar, and then the bar, not everything is as it seems, and things change. George Clooney, this is probably easily my favorite George Clooney performance. Seth Gecko, is that his name? He's awesome. Yeah, this movie's awesome. If you don't like the super campy, cheesy stuff, which I generally don't, maybe avoid this, but it's it's written by Tarantino, directed by Robert Rodriguez. It's starring Tarantino, starring George Clooney, starring Salma Hayek. Give it a shot. If you really don't like it, I understand. Now we have Doctor Strangelove, directed by Stanley Kubrick. This is a good movie. So it's a little overrated, much like many of Kubrick's films. So this was a Catch-22 style, almost parody or satire of the perceived shallowness and idiocy of generals. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are necessarily geniuses. The problem with this movie, and I don't want to get political here, the problem with this movie is I understand it's like a comedy, and I don't know if either it kind of ripped off Catch 22 or it inspired Catch 22, but it kind of paints these generals as like these dolting idiots, but they're really not, right? Even if you disagree with what they did, it's not that simple. It's just, dropping the bomb, that is. It's not as simple as these guys kind of make it out. It's kind of funny to me that these filmmakers just kind of sit from the sidelines in the bench and they go, "Oh, I would have done so much better. Watch, I can prove it because I made a film about it." It's kind of stupid. It's a little cringe in that respect, but there are some funny things. George C. Scott is hilarious. Peter Sellers is pretty good. I like the end. There's a scene in this movie where, okay, I'm going to spoil it. The bomb goes off. If you didn't know that, the bomb goes off. And it's kind of like this accidental thing, and it's like, oh shit, we shouldn't have done that. Catch 22, Major to Cloverly. And then so they go, okay, well, what should we do? And they say, well, we have to build a bunker, and we can only fit like 200 people. I mean, that's our only hope, and then we'll repopulate. And he goes, yeah, I mean, that's all we have. And one guy goes, well, who should be the 200 that get in? And they go, well, I think present company should get in. It's just the perfect political satire. Like, yeah, I'm sure you do. Drive, another kind of overrated movie. This is a good movie, not an amazing movie. Some of you guys talk about this movie as if it's like the best movie of the 2010s. I don't understand it. I remember watching it, really liking Ryan Gosling. Who is it? Michelle Williams, is that the other one? I liked her. I liked Oscar Isaac. And I liked the way it was shot. And I kind of liked the sparse dialogue. I liked that. I thought that was interesting. Everything, the story, I remember just thinking, like, is that it? Is that the whole story? That's what I'd been hyped up to see? And the music, everyone loves the music, not me. It's just not for me. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not for me. I just don't like that kind of music. So it was cool, but not for me. Dream scenario. So this is a great movie, a good movie, a really good movie. It Let's just say it's heavily influenced by Charlie Kaufman. So adaptation, being John Malkovich. This is essentially a Charlie Kaufman movie directed by Christopher Borgli. Having said that, there are worse movies to rip off than Charlie Kaufman movies. And if you're going to do it, execute it well. And I think it did. Now, the story of this movie is Nicolas Cage's character, who's just this completely bland piece of white paper loser. He starts appearing in literally everyone's dreams. And he kind of becomes this celebrity. So you sort of see how he proceeds from that, whether he tries to capitalize on it financially, kind of like they did in Being John Malkovich when they found the portal, and all these different things. And then he has a romance, and it's good. It's interesting. And then of course some dreams turn to nightmares, and then problems. Good movie. I would definitely check it out. Please, if you're going to watch this or that sounds interesting, watch Charlie Kaufman films first, and then watch this. Unfortunately, this doesn't quite hold up, but still good enough to own nonetheless. Dope. This needs a rewatch. I haven't watched this since 2015. I can't even remember what the plot. I think this is just kind of a hangout movie about. I mean, it looks like they're in LA. I don't know where in LA, but just some kind of friends, some hijinks, high school. I don't remember too much, but I remember when I watched it, I liked it. So, Don John. Funny movie, good movie, kind of loses its way a little bit towards the end or towards the second half, but nonetheless, I think Joseph directed and wrote this movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt did. Scarlett Johansson looks good in this movie. She's doing like a New York accent that's super stereotypical. Julianne Moore is good in this movie. This is about like essentially a Sigma male, one of these, like almost like a gym guy. He's Italian. He wears his wife beaters. Oh, don't talk to me like that, man. All right, don't mess with me. He's got his routine and his hairdo. He's overdosing. He's got like hair gel dripping into his eyes. Good movie, but he's addicted to intimacy online. And of course, he gets with Scarlett Johansson, and things happen. Fun movie, comedy movie, not too long. Watch it. Donnie Brasco. Good movie. We'll see if this makes the chopping block. It's not that it's bad by any means, but there are better movies out there. But Al Pacino's good. I thought, for the longest time, I thought Al Pacino was the undercover, but he wasn't. And then Johnny Depp. It's always good to see Johnny Depp in a good movie. He's been in a lot of bad movies, but yeah, this is just a classic um, undercover infiltration story. And Al Pacino's great. There's a couple scenes where he goes all out, and he's great when he does that. Johnny Depp is good. Good movie. Didn't make the biggest impression on me. Having said that, this next Al Pacino movie did. Attica, Attica. Dog Day Afternoon. This movie is awesome. This is about the New York bank robberies, or yeah, it must have been some sort of robbery. Al Pacino, John Cazale, they are friends, and they are going to rob this place. I think a bank, it must be, and go off to the Puerto Rico or wherever, or some other, the Congo or some shit. And I don't know, I can't remember what you would call it. But yeah, things go bad, and then the police come, and then they have to navigate this, and can they make it to their destination? And it doesn't sound very interesting, but it is. Al Pacino is awesome. There's kind of like an interesting, not twist, but an interesting element that is introduced about 2/3, and that we're just like, what? But this is Sidney Lumet. The direction is awesome. It's super tense. Al Pacino's great. It's 70s Al Pacino in his prime, besides like The Godfather. John Cazale is great. He's super shy and nervous, and he kind of looks to Al to lead the way, but he doesn't really know what he's doing. I mean, this isn't what he does. Um, you got to watch Dog Day Afternoon. It's so great. There's so many awesome scenes. Love them. Okay, this next one is not only a personal favorite insofar as I watched this a ton growing up, and I didn't watch a ton of movies growing up. Not that I wasn't allowed, just didn't. But I also think it's really underrated, and that is Dodgeball. No one's saying this is like the greatest movie of all time, but every character in this movie has an arc, and a sufficient one at that, and at minimum. Um, Ben Stiller, this is easily my favorite Ben Stiller performance, not even close. I'm not the biggest fan of his, but he is hilarious in this. White Goodman is hilarious. Vince Vaughn is good in this. Everyone's good in this. There's so many great jokes in this. Um, this is just a funny movie that cliche we need to make more of. I don't understand why we can't make these anymore. I mean, I do understand, but frustrating. This is a good movie. This is an underrated movie. I mean, this is a good movie. Some people say, "Oh, it's a fun movie, but it's shit." No, it's good. It's really not that bad. If you actually like, oh, the script is actually isn't that bad. There's an arc here. It wasn't written by Helen Keller. All right, Django Unchained. You got to have this one. There's not too much to say that hasn't been said already. Christoph Waltz is great. Jamie Foxx. I was gonna say this is his best performance, but I haven't seen Ray. And Leo's great. Samuel L. Jackson. I love seeing him actually be good. He just kind of leans on his shtick in so many films. It's nice to see him actually give a performance. Dialogue's great, action's great, music's great, everything. Everyone knows Django's awesome. Another horror film, The Exorcist. This movie is borderline a comedy to me. When this little girl who is possessed by a demon starts swearing just like and saying the most vile things and stabbing herself with a knife in areas that are seem to be painful. I couldn't tell if I was supposed to laugh or be scared, so I was a little bit of both. But yeah, this is actually a really well directed movie. I remember the tension is good. I remember the lighting was good too. Who directed this again? I can't remember. But good movie. This is a solid. It says the scariest film of all time on the front. Who the hell directed this movie? Where is this? William Friedkin. He did a good job. This is a good movie. Ex Machina, not perfect, but a good movie. Alicia Vikander's good. I like Oscar Isaac's character. I think Domhnall Gleeson was good too. I think you kind of know where this is going, even before you put it in. You have a feeling you know where this is going, and it kind of does go there. But it's a slow burn, tense film that is executed well. I think it's acted well. I like that it's only really three characters. I think when you contain a story to just a few handful of characters, you have more time to explore them, and they become deeper and richer. The problem with all this giant cast, hello Wes Anderson, hello Asteroid City, is that none of these people actually get enough time to make an impact. But that's not the case with this movie. This was a good movie, another sci-fi. I like to have as many genres represented as reasonably allotted. I'm not going to buy stuff that I don't like, but if I can, speaking of, we have Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2. I'm not kidding. I did not love Army of Darkness. I think the change in setting and story kind of missed the point of what makes these great. These are great because they're campy, fun, and well directed, and they're just a blast to watch. They're easy to watch. They're silly, and they're kind of funny. But they're simple. They're like cabin in the woods stuff. We're not reinventing the wheel. But when you go out to the BC days, I mean, what are we doing? All right. Everything Everywhere All at Once. My mother gave this a -0, which, after years of contemplation, I can only deduce is supposed to mean even less than 0. I don't understand why. I think this is a good movie. I think this is a super unique and fun movie, and it's also good. I thought the direction was good. The Daniels, I did not like Swiss Army Man. That just missed the boat with me. I did not like it. But this was good, and I like the acting. I'm not even going to pretend, except for Jamie Lee Curtis. Do not lie to me and tell me that this is black. This is pink. This is not black. Do not lie to me and tell me Jamie Lee Curtis was good in that movie. Do not do that. Okay? We can be friends. Just don't do that. Don't lie to me. Charlie Kaufman, baby. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. If you don't want to watch Being John Malkovich and adaptation, I don't know why you wouldn't try this. This is a popular one. This is what can I say about this movie? It like every other Charlie Kaufman. It's about like a little bit of everything. It's about love. It's about depression. It's about memories, what it means to be a human, the meaning and value of memories, what it means to put yourself through negative or situations that you know are not going to end up well because one, the small glimmering joys that you can find within that journey are still worth it. They outweigh even the all the bad. And two, as this sort of soul work where it can carry the spirit forward. And it's also about relationships, love, mental illness. I mean, it's about everything. It's. I love this movie. This movie's great. It could go for a rewatch. Um, I remember it was so funny. I remember not loving the B plot in this, and I was just, please, can we just go back to the story? And then it wraps up. I always got to trust Charlie. He knows what he's doing. Watch that movie. That's a great one. Escape from Alcatraz. This is a fun movie. This is another classic, 70s Eastwood. You turn it on. It's good. It gets the job done, but you don't have to take it that seriously. The only problem with this movie is that Clint Eastwood's character, I understand he was based on a real person, but Clint Eastwood's character just was a piece of white paper. It was just, there was nothing to him. His, this guy, this guy, this guy here, he was awesome. He had a little bit of personality, he had a little bit of characterization. I just wanted to see more of him, and I wanted to see Clint Eastwood's character also have that. I'm trying to figure out who that actor is. I don't know. But that was like the only problem with that movie. But that's a good movie. That's a solid movie. Next up, Enemy. This is a good movie. This is Denis Villeneuve. I like this kind of movie. It's not my favorite of his of this kind, but I prefer when Villeneuve goes this route, where it's sort of smaller scale, maybe smaller budget, but I have a stronger emotional investment and attachment. And this movie's a thinking movie. Now, my theory on this movie is this entire movie takes place in the subconscious of Jake Gyllenhaal's character. I think he is an aspect of the subconscious. His twin, so to speak, is simply his shadow self or his aspect of his consciousness, which he is trying to repress. And of course, with the spider at the end, we see, I think, that he doesn't. Or, excuse me, he falls back into those bad ways. Um, I think that, and number one, I think that because I've thought about it in the sense of I didn't think that immediately. That's what I mean. I thought about it over time, and that's the conclusion I drew. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is if you looked at the poster of this movie, I mean, the spider is walking in the city, right? But that city is contained in the head of Jake Gyllenhaal's character. So I thought, like, there's no way that's random. There's no way that's meaningless. And then combined with my thinking about it, I was like, yeah, that's my interpretation. So that's what I think. I think this is about a story about a man who meets his identical, is complete. I mean, he looks exactly like him. And he has to sort of, his life gets sort of turned upside down because of this. And he has to figure out all these answers. And that's my opinion. This is really everything that takes place here is the subconscious. And the characters are just aspects of the main character, of the main character's psyche. End of watch. This is a good movie. I don't love the acting by the gang members. I think that was kind of bad. I like some of the dialogue is like I don't want to say corny necessarily, but it's you kind of expect it. But the acting is good. I think the filmmaking style was pretty cool. It's generally not my style, but I did enjoy it in this. This could be on the chopping block, but I remember liking it. I remember loving the ending too. By the way, the actual last 15, 20 seconds, the fact that it just, oh, that was great. I love when filmmakers go subtle. And I mean, it wasn't really subtle, but I don't want to spoil it, but it kind of was. I just watched this recently. The end of the tour with Jesse Eisenberg and Jason Segel. I think this is Jason Segel's best performance. I think this is Jesse Eisenberg's second, maybe third best. This is about David Foster Wallace. I'm sure if you're familiar with my channel, you've heard of him. He of course, wrote Infinite Jest, which I have not read, and I probably will never read because it. So what? It didn't seem that interesting. Um, and Jesse Eisenberg plays a Rolling Stone reporter. Infinite Jest comes out. He reads it and he says, "Look, we have to do an article on this guy. We have to do a write up on this guy. This guy's a genius. This guy's the next Hemingway." So they do it. Now the great irony is this: they did the interview and the piece, but it was never released. So it was just kind of kept away in tapes in the Rolling Stones archives. But then, of course, they found and made a movie about it. Um, and of course, tension arises pretty quickly. David Foster Wallace seems to be a pretty antagonistic guy, and Jesse Eisenberg's character also, I think he feels of a combination of respect and admiration and a shame for not being as brilliant as David Foster Wallace. And I think he envies him, which is never good. You never want to envy. And this is a great movie. I love this movie. It's a talking movie. There's definitely no guns that go off. But I love that movie. Ed Wood. This movie is awesome. Oh, I need to rewatch this movie. This is a movie about. Oh, I forgot Bill Murray's in this. This is a movie about Johnny Depp plays just a terrible film director, and yet he just keeps going. And he's a cross-dresser, and it's just about passion, finding what you love, doing what you love, and doing things that fulfill your purpose, even if the end result is trash. And it's kind of an appreciation of art in that respect. Johnny Depp is really great. He's doing a showy performance, but I actually don't think he goes over the top. I think I think it's based on a true story. Yeah, it's definitely based on a true story. Everyone's great in this. I think this is Tim Burton's best movie, in my personal opinion. I think it's better than Edward Scissorhands. I think it's better than I can't remember what his other ones I've seen, but I think this is the one where you can point to and be like, put aside all the Tim Burtonisms for the most part, and this is a legit great movie. Like this is up there. You guys got to watch this. Ed Wood. It sounds boring, but it's not. Johnny Depp is killer. All the acting is great. The directing is great. It's full of love. It's full of passion. It's so well directed. It's so beautiful. It's black and white. It's filmed. You could tell that Tim Burton knew what he was doing when he was filming black and white. He didn't just film a movie and then turn the light and go, okay, we're turning color off. No, you film black and white in a certain way. You highlight the darks and contrast them against the whites. You don't really get that when you just turn the color off. Morons. Watch Ed Wood. Last one in this video. Live, Die, Repeat. Edge of Tomorrow. Now, I'm going to express a slightly unpopular opinion. I don't think Edge of Tomorrow is like the worst name ever. It's a little generic. Don't get me wrong. Live, Die, Repeat is definitely better, but I don't think it's that bad. Like, relax, people. Tom Cruise is good in this. Emily Blunt is really good in this. She kind of plays this like pissed off, badass chick. It's well explained in the movie. The only thing I'll say, but this was a good movie. I think this is another like 2014 movie, a sleeper. I remember when the trailers were terrible. The title people didn't like, and everyone was expecting it to be the worst thing ever, and they were like, "Oh no, this is badass." Um, this is a cool movie, a fun movie. It's got a somewhat interesting idea. I mean, you've seen it before in like Groundhog Day and stuff like that, but it does take an action twist. I remember one scene where Tom Cruise is doing one of his sort of lives, so to speak, and he's doing one of his run throughs of the simulation, so to speak. And all this war is happening, all these lasers and shots are happening, and his like fat friend, he goes, "Hey, hey!" And Tom Cruise and the camera like turn, and you just see this fatty going like this, "Hey!" And then like a giant ship just splashes him everywhere. And I remember I saw it with my old buddy in high school, and we were the only ones who laughed in the whole theater, but we just burst out laughing so much that I had to like do this. Oh, it was so funny. But yeah, this is a fun movie. I wish they would make more summer blockbusters like this. But you know what? As much as I would love it, the fact of the matter is people always say that, and then they don't watch them. But I try to. But people online, they cry and they we want original good movies. Okay, and then they try them and you don't see them. That's why we don't get cool movies, because you don't financially support them. That's how it works. Supply and demand. They are never going to supply something that you don't demand, or something you only demand through words and not through money. Words are meaningless. You need to support films if you want to get cooler films. All right, that'll be here. We'll just continue periodically, and then I'll try to upload this now either Monday, this upcoming on the 14th, or the 15th, tax day. You'll get a John Gebser's video. I'm hoping the 14th, and that'll be cool. We got Mythical Temperacy. That's going to be fun. A lot of really cool stuff in there. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys want to keep, hopefully you guys keep watching for the rest of this series. I appreciate and I love you guys. You guys are the best. Thank you.